This episode of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Hey, what about our Comic Capers podcast?
I'm glad that nice, polite young lady asked. Yeah, welcome to Comic Capers episode 50. It's a party. I am Phil, and joining me as always is...
Hey y'all, it's Lilith Hellfire.
Another nice, polite young lady.
I try sometimes. Sometimes being the operative word.
Anyway, continuing our streak of 90s DC books.
Quintessential 90s DC books.
We're going to talk a favorite of Lilith Hellfire's, one of her all-time favorites, Kingdom Come.
Yes, Kingdom Come. I have this in so many versions, it's ridiculous. But the very first one I ever got was the novelization written by Elliot S. Madden, and it has the 12 additional pages of the prologue.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And then I have all the individually collected versions. I have the 1997 limited edition. It's unopened. It's the 4 packages that are wrapped and has the Sky trading card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you couldn't tell, she really, really likes it.
Yeah. Elliot S. Magnan also, I believe he's the one, he was the one doing a lot of the novelizations up until like 2000. He did the Superman movie one, if I'm not mistaken. Like the original Superman from 1978. Yeah, I have that somewhere around. I'm pretty sure that was him. And he did a couple of other ones. So he was kind of like the go-to guy at the time for that kind of thing. But yeah, this is it's very interesting. It's Elsewhere's Tale. So, it's just like what could have been.
Yeah.
And then of course the crux of the story is based around Shazam, which is kind of why I really like the story. I love that twist. We also get Sandman and Spectre, 2 of my other all-time favorites. So it's just like really cool. Just like that. It's just this loving kind of, it was basically like, hey, 90s comic book writers, get your stuff together because we don't like what you're doing. Like literally, that's the whole analog analogy to this. Marvel also did something very similar with Squadron Supreme along those lines. It's like, hey, these writers and these artists just aren't like how we were when we were growing up. Let's scold them. I think that Kingdom Come did a little bit better because it's only 4 issues, not 12.
Well, one, if you would like to know more about Squadron Supreme, stay tuned to the Quantum Zone. We have a big announcement coming up there. Anyway.
What is that crazy boys up to now?
Every once in a while, we may do some other Mark Grunwald works other than Quasar.
What about our Quasar podcast, the Quantum Zone?
And I know what Lil's waiting for.
Sparkly quantum tentacles.
You know me so well.
But other than Squadron Supreme, I thought the big because I think it came out around close to the same time as Kingdom Come, the Marvel miniseries or whatever event that was analogous to this was Earth X.
It's like what the writer's intentions were versus what the editorial staff wanted. But I really feel like Squadron Supreme is very much like, let's scold these writers, these new school writers.
But it was
make fun of them mercilessly and show them how to do it.
But it was another one of those possible future tales. And I swear to Captain America, and that story looked kind of similar to Superman from Kingdom Come.
It was a big hit, a big success. People really dug it. People still do dig it. I think that they did a little too much with the prequel and the sequel. I think they should have just left this alone, kind of like the Dark Knight.
The Kingdom.
But, or that Kingdom. Yeah, that Kingdom is. And then they kind of revamped it in New 52 too, which I'll talk about at the end a little bit.
But I'd say this is probably one of the most famous Elseworlds.
Yeah, so much so a lot of people really, and it, like with New 52, like I said, they did kind of sort of fold it in. Originally, this was like Earth 96, and then New 52 kind of turned into Earth 22 with a twist about Gog. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so basically, if you don't know, if you were living under a rock in the 90s or weren't born,
or you're Charlie Esser,
Kingdom Come is a 4-issue comic book miniseries published in 1996 by DC under their Elseworlds imprint. It was written by Mark Waid and Alex Ross, and also the artwork was done by Alex Ross in his very famous ghost style. They also basically came up with this whole idea on their own and pitched it to DC. It's very much a deconstructionist tale. I love that it's set in the future with this growing conflict about, out of touch traditional superheroes. And then there's these new irresponsible vigilantes. And they're like, a lot of them are offspring of the traditional heroes. So it's just like, they're kind of like going at each other. And then, of course, Lex Luthor has like some machinations and we're trying to prevent the world ending superhuman war that he's always feared kind of thing in the main continuity. So it's a lot of really cool ideas floating around.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Waid, Alex Ross, great combination. And I guarantee you, the camera's not on, but I bet you Lil Hellfire didn't even look at her notes. I bet you that was all from memory.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, this is like one of my favorite things ever. Like I said, it's got Captain Marvel, the Spectre. It's got Sandman in there.
You basically get like every big DC name in here, except for like, unless he's in the background somewhere, I don't think there's probably no Swamp Thing and no Constantine, right? But
no, see, the thing about that is that it's like combination of like kind of how Wesley and the Spectre are written. It's kind of like an homage to Swamp Thing. I don't know why they couldn't use it at the particular time, but yeah, so it's a lot of allusions. Like, so yeah, the Spectre is very much kind of our Swamp Thing, the way that he feels out of touch with humanity and stuff. So. And also a little play on Dr. Manhattan as well. So, and
like our viewpoint to this issue, the pastor, what is his name?
Norman
McKay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the story. Didn't Alex Ross like pattern him on somebody he knew, or?
Yes, I think the guy's name was actually Norman too, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought that was the story.
But I love how it's set in the year 2020, and right now we're in the year 2019. I think we did it a year too early, but it's okay. It's okay.
That's funny.
And this is like, it's over 20 years old at this point. So
was that in the novelization? Because does it say 2020 in the actual comic?
Like I said, I read the novelization first, so that's what I have committed to memory the most.
Okay, but yeah, I don't think in the comic it's so. Maybe the novelization says 2020.
Okay, but yeah, but that is a canon fact, though.
Okay.
So because when there's a follow-up story, and it's called Kingdom Come Revelations, and a lot of the stuff that I get is from that as well, and that is actually canon. They also talk about it, I believe, on Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Compendium, where we get they go a little bit more in detail about the Earth and the event too. So. Oh, and also I love how they were like basically firing shots at Image Comics about this whole thing, because the whole new comics and how Image Comics kind of like set the tone for like Spawn and everything like that. So yeah, because those Mog's generation of superheroes are just kind of, when you think about it, very analogous to some of those characters from that time, from that particular company too. So. And it's like, now everybody loves what, Image Comics and all the other, independent comic book companies do, because you have that creator owner thing. So it's kind of weird when you look back at like what they were like really trying to say.
And I love Mark Waid's take in it, or Mark Waid and Alex Ross, their take it. It looks like, Superman and Wonder Woman and everyone are locking up all these villains, and it looks like Batman sides with Lex Luthor and his group, just be like, because Batman's like, oh, we don't need a Kryptonian,
yeah,
doing all this, and then he's just like, psych, I just wanted to see what you're doing with Billy Batson. Like, I'm really going to join forces with you, idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'll never betray Superman. Come on.
But see, this is kind of weird to me. I guess it's because of the time that I grew up and I was reading comics. Like, I didn't feel like those characters were like nihilistic punks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But I guess when you're kind of older, that it would seem that way. And like, this is kind of like that very much, that father-son struggle, if you will.
Well, again, I think, it was like a take on the comics and some of the characters at the time. But while you're swimming in that time period,
but when you look back at that, like I said, Golden Age is my favorite, and Silver Age is a close second. But like this newfangled stuff nowadays, I don't know. Sometimes I'm starting to feel like this. I'm starting to feel how they were feeling.
As you get older and you see the comics as a whole over the decade.
It's Harley Quinn. That's what really has ruined comics. Like the things that they have done to Harley Quinn is just like, all right, I think I'm getting too old for this.
I mean, I understand they need to keep the business afloat, especially these days, but it's like it just seems like they try to cash in on like certain concepts hit and they try to milk it for all it's worth.
I mean, they literally beat the dead horse. they do. So it's just like, whoa.
Deadpool, Harley Quinn, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Especially if it hits big in like a movie or something, they're just like, we need 20 miniseries.
Preach it to the choir, brother. Another thing that I really like is that I love JSA. So it's giving me a very JSA feeling.
Yes, especially
versus the new. So
yeah, especially because the major Green Lantern we're getting here is Alan Scott, right?
Yeah, and then we also have Jade. Yeah. But she holds her own. We'll get there eventually.
Well, that makes sense too because that's his daughter.
Yeah, exactly. But the story for me did feel kind of slow because we pick up and it's like the story starts off with Wesley Dodds speaking to his pastor Norman McKay and they're reading for the Book of Revelations. And, he's trying to tell Norman about them, but like before he dies, before he can explain them. So the funeral is like really when it starts to pick up, and Norman's reflecting on Dodd's life and how he'd been Sandman, and then he really does start to understand Dodd's worry about the current superheroes who he feels lacks those morals of the predecessors. And then there's this like kind of fight between some of the modern heroes, and it's just like, oh, can mankind really outlast these so-called heroes?
But I mean, some of this writing like even struck a chord with me today because like when Norman's walking down the street just thinking sometimes he'd ambush complete strangers and ask them how much they miss the concept of human achievement.
Yeah. Which, I think is something interesting when you deal with Superman because, we had that time in his books where people thought he was a man of tomorrow, not an alien, things like that, And it definitely did kind of, it wasn't even a subtle shift. It was a very abrupt shift when they decided to just go all out and make sure everybody knew he was an alien kind of thing. So they kind of addressed that too.
That's why I love Batman. He keeps up with these people.
I think honestly, this is like where I started to fall more in love with Batman than Superman because, it's kind of like one of those things from the animated movie, Batman, he'll outlast us all.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Also, we get Parasite, pulling apart Captain Atom, and then there's this nuclear explosion that destroys Kansas, and that's a lot of stuff that goes on.
I mean, you want to make it personal for Superman. They blew up Kansas.
I know. Damn dirty vigilantes.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to mention Planet Krypton. The restaurant, like Planet Hollywood.
Oh, my God. The funniest fact I know about that is that the Spectre... Who is it? Is it Spectre or Sandman? Yeah, the Spectre has the Spectre platter at Planet Krypton, which is spinach and cottage cheese because it's green and white. I love that. And also, Jim never found that amusing. So, I that's like one of those random facts that I'll never forget because I hate cottage cheese, but I love spinach, and I found that to be an abomination.
And I guess, does Booster Gold own Planet Krypton?
Of course he does.
I figured, because they have this thing of either Fire or someone who looks like Fire is asking for Booster Gold.
I need Planet Krypton instead of Big Belly Burger in the Arrowverse. Make it so. Make it so.
Well, now they can, yeah. I mean, Superman's on there. Superman, Supergirl. Maybe after Crisis.
After Crisis, we're not going to have Big Belly Burger. We're gonna have. I'm tweeting that to the writers. So, this is what you need to do.
Crisis, wipe away Big Belly Burger and give us Planet Krypton.
Although I really do want a Big Belly Burger at Six Flags or something. I really feel like that needs to happen. Why hasn't this happened yet? I digress though, but issue 1 is a lot of setup, but I felt that the setup into this world was very compelling. It wasn't like, how sometimes you read exposition and it just feels like an anvil hitting you over your head again and again.
Mm-hmm.
It really sucked me into this world and set up everything that I needed to know. We see the Flash is still patrolling Keystone City. Hawkman is protecting the forests of the Pacific Northwest, and of course, Green Lantern's chilling, watching Earth from Emerald City. And then we kind of got Aquaman and the Amazons and some legions of superheroes. They abandoned the world. They were like, screw this, I'm out of here.
Well, they said after Superman retired and disappeared, a lot of them disappeared.
Like you need to do that more when Superman retires. What do you mean?
Well, I think they said, people, Aquaman retired to Atlantis, and some of them went to either went to other dimensions or other times. Because I guess that's them saying like Supergirl, and is that supposed to be Superboy? I guess. Yeah. Went to the Legion's future. Yeah.
And then I love that because it's so Batman and so Batman Beyond too when you think about it, because he's controlling Gotham with robots.
What happened to Batman? Yeah.
He's got this. You know, Gotham's good as it's ever gonna get anyway. So yeah. And then we see Metropolis. It's not such a Metropolis because guess what? Those heroes are having a shootout on a bridge and full of a ton of innocent people.
Those young whippersnappers.
Yeah.
Until a mighty wind changes the course of the river.
Dun, 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 but not so much. I love a pissed off, grumpy Superman, to be honest.
I was gonna say, I'm probably the most iconic image from this series: Superman holding two of them.
Kind of gave me a little Spider-Man feel, but we've been to be fair on Spider-Cast, we have been doing we did a lot of Tobey Maguire movies, so those images are stuck in my head there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's kind of how issue 1 kind of ends. With Superman showing up and going,
bad kids.
I love the panel on page 7 with the long-haired Korean dude with the cigarette dangling from his mouth. That's actually Sung Koo, who's supposed I guess it's the former proprietor of Haley's Comics.
Oh, really?
From an actual comic store in Chicago. And it's where, Alex Ross used to live. So that's pretty cool. What else? What other trivia do I have?
The last World Series was played in 2002.
Yeah. If only. Because baseball ruins everything. It is such a long season.
It's just so slow. I know. They play like 163 games.
I mean, I guess they got to make up for all those millions they make.
Well, I guess because they're not taking as much physical damage as like football or hockey, but still.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to mention that I really loved at the Planet Krypton restaurant, the billboard has Lobo and Marvin. Because Marvin's modeled after the designs from Super Friends. That the whole thing, I was like, that's so cute. Yeah. And then there's a waiter that's dressed as a Silver Age Green Lantern. Hal Jordan.
Oh, yeah, he's like the greeter when they come in, yeah.
Yeah, and then we also see more waiters. We even have a Carrie Kelly Robin from The Dark Knight Returns. Mm-hmm. And we get the Silver Age Flash Barry Allen. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Also, the Batman costume from the 1960s TV series is on a mannequin in the vacuum tube.
Yep.
There's lots of really cool Easter eggs in this.
There's Green Arrow's bow and the boxing glove arrow hanging up there.
And there's a camera batarang too, a Batman camera batarang too.
Yeah,
pretty cool. And then also we get a Seagull reference in here, and then there's Turtle Boy on the Jumbotron. Yeah. It was just like, wow, they went all in with all this.
If you were a DC fan from any era, or if you're just like a fan of like good comics, pick this up.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, that's issue 1. And let's get over to issue.
Oh, you forgot Superman. It looks like he's like living on a farm, but meanwhile it's just like a big illusion in the fortress.
Yeah, Wonder Woman shows up. And I love that the animated series actually kind of takes a riff on this with that one too. Mm-hmm. I think that's season 2. Where Wonder Woman shows up and she's like, Lois has died, and she shows up and she's like, oh, you gotta stop pretending. Superman invented Farmville. Fight me.
And they even like the regular Superman books borrowed this like in the late 90s, him, floating there in front of multiple TV screens and stuff.
And I love a gray-haired Temple Superman. I really do.
He's still got the ponytail.
Hey man, it was the 90s.
Well, it was 96. Didn't he still have the long hair? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Issue 2 picks up Truth and Justice. And, now we see McKay having a vision of 7 angels. And I'm like, uh-oh. It's never good when people start having religious visions.
Nope.
Oof. We see Minutemen showing up and Brady
Yeah.
Trust. I was like, we also get a Red Robin appearance.
Yeah, because there's a big fight at the Statue of Liberty, and then
Leave the Statue of Liberty alone.
and again, Superman shows up. Another, poster-worthy image of, full page spread of Superman showing up with Green Lantern, Flash, Power Woman. Not Power Girl, Power Woman.
Yeah. Screw those diminutive titles, as Charlie Esser would say.
Oh yeah, but isn't this like the first appearance of like Red Robin in any form?
Is it?
I think so. I think they got all of the, any future appearances of Red Robin, no matter who it was from this series. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. I just assumed that was something in the works that they allowed them to throw in.
Yeah, no.
Because they're all, back in the day, all the DC writers were friends, and they got to, give a little sneak peek and stuff. So that's what I just assumed.
Because I can't remember if Red Robin showed up in the Kingdom or the sequel or whatever. But after that, I don't think we really didn't get a lot of Red Robin until they tried to put it on Jason Todd during Countdown or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Tim Drake picked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that New 52 thing was kind of not.
Yeah, I think it all started right here. Because they don't even really name call Dick Grayson right away.
No, he's all middle aged though. And I was like, he had to reclaim the Robin mantle. Like, what a downgrade! And he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be Robin. I'm gonna be Red Robin.
But he has a daughter who looks strangely Tamaranian.
Good for him.
Wonder who her mother could have been. I don't know.
They also kind of get into that with Scattered Pieces, which tied into Batman RAP about that whole thing. So yeah. Oof. Wolf. Anyway. So this is where Lex Luthor really comes in. He assembles a team of retired villains, calling them the Mankind Liberation Front. And I'm like, what is this? X-Men?
I know. It's still MLF. I know.
Yep. And so then the Justice League and the Rogue Superhumans, they have their own purposes and machinations. And then, we see Norman McKay. And, and I'm just like, okay. And the Spectre sees an adult Billy Batson as a servant to Lex Luthor. And he's giving him a shave. And I'm like, what kind of homoerotic mess is this?
Mind control.
I know. That Lex has some weird stuff going on. That's all I'm saying. And then we go into that nightclub where there's, that group of random superhumans. And Superman's like, I got a message.
You're with us or against us?
It's like Star Wars? No, too soon.
If you're with us, we're going to save the world.
Yeah. Nightstar and Avia can go, I don't know. They can go take a long walk off a short pier for all I care.
I know, but you needed somebody somewhat familiar in the next generation.
Of course. And then, of course, Oliver Queen shows up because he's always got an alternate offer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's working. Well, yeah, but then he ends up working with Batman.
Yes, you do. And we also, we get some Mr. Miracle and Big Barda also.
Oh, yes.
And of course, there's failed negotiation talks with Arthur Curry because he's not Aquaman anymore. His former protege takes that,
Yeah, and he's like, you're not housing any prisoners down here.
Exactly. Good for him. Yeah.
Oh, but you skipped the part where Superman goes to see Batman.
Oh yeah.
Because the house is wrecked to get down in the cave, and Bruce is like, I got everything I need down here.
Basically, right?
Because basically, it looks like he's by himself. Because I assume
that is a full-time job.
Batman looks old enough. I assume Alfred's dead.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I think they definitely pulled a lot from Batman Beyond from this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool.
I love how when Superman says, "What happened to the manor?" and he says, "Once my identity got exposed, Bane and Two-Face happened to it."
Two-Face. Oh,
Two villains.
Ha 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 ha. And then remember when I love that the Joker killed the Daily Planet staff. Like the Joker of all people.
Well, that's the joke. It wasn't one of Superman's villains.
Exactly.
Well, I forget. Wasn't it who was talking to Superman? And they're like, oh, was it Magog later? Someone said,
yeah, it was Magog. Yeah.
92. What did he kill? 92 men, and he's like one woman. So of course we all know who that was.
Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm. But they kind of skate over that real quick. That, and it's like, Bruce just throws out that line, my identity got exposed. Just skate right through past that. Other writers would have committed a whole chapter to that, but they're like, no.
Because that's the nice thing. They weren't really focused on that. It was like, you got the gist of what's going on. Let's keep it moving. We got way more story to tell.
They one line, throw it out. Everyone found out who Bruce Wayne was. Okay, boom. Because
everybody acknowledged it. Everybody knew, but they were just like, we're gonna acknowledge it and we're gonna do something about it. Yeah. Because screw that rich guy. He could have gave us money instead of being Batman.
Yeah, they throw out one line. That's it. Boom. If this was today, this would be like a 12-issue miniseries written by Bendis. They would have at least.
Well, are you kidding me? It'd be 24. We have a 5-week delay on each issue.
And at least 1 or 2 issues would be a flashback to when Batman got outed.
And then also there'd be some random new villain. That doesn't matter after a certain writer leaves. Nobody will care.
One issue, Batman gets outed. The next issue, we see Two-Face and Bane trash the manor.
You gotta love back in the day. They just wanted to get. I mean, this is a 4-issue one. That's
I was gonna say
a weird odd number.
Nice and tight 4 issues. I thank you, Mark Waid, Alex Ross. Thank you.
Oh, well, they did go back to this well quite a few times, but I forgive it. It was an editorial mandate, I believe. I feel like they told the story they had to tell, but of course, DC being DC.
And originally, 4 issues is like I said, nice and tight. I like it, but they easily could have did 6 issues with this.
Easily.
Yeah.
But I love how the last part of this one is, we see Bruce Wayne who's making an unseemly alliance with Lex Luthor's team of villains. Is like, yeah, right. That man might be a jerk, but he's not that big of a jerk.
Oh yeah, Bruce Wayne, Oliver Queen. Is that Ted Kord?
I think so.
And then Black Canary.
Oh, also I love how on the Statue of Liberty, it's red graffiti. Lobo was here. WUZ. And it also has a large hole in her heart.
Oh.
Yeah. But I guess that was for, there's a lot of xenophobia in this book too, which is probably why I feel so timely.
Mm-hmm. But that's funny. Like Lobo doesn't appear in this book, but they still find a way to call, quick call out the Lobo. And
yeah, like I said, in Planet Krypton, they have him in the in the billboard too. So yeah. Also, I like the older versions of Weather Wizard and Captain Cold that are bartenders at the nightclub, and they also have a photo of the Rogues of Captain Boomerang autographed by Barry Allen. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's so cute.
And I like we were talking about Lex Luthor's group. That one, I won't even try to pronounce his name. What is it? The grandson of Ra's al Ghul.
Oh yeah. And
you know who his father is. So basically, this is basically Damien. Yeah.
This is our first look. Yeah, we talked about that when we did our Robin special.
Yeah.
Whoa, is that even on YouTube? If so, scroll way down.
If not, it's on a podcast somewhere.
Still scroll way down.
We get old Riddler and Catwoman.
Catwoman, she can still get it. The 3rd issue is called Up in the Sky. I love that title. I love that we get Wildcat and Zatara in this one too.
Oh yeah.
Not enough, but they do show up. And this is where, Norman McKay sees yet another vision, and this time it's Captain Marvel calling down the lightning upon himself. I was just like, no.
But because Superman and his group start building a metahuman prison in Kansas, since it's devastated. But does that gulag look familiar to you at all? At least parts of it?
Of course it does.
Legion of Doom headquarters, maybe.
Hey, the ideas, sometimes the best ideas come from the worst inventions come from the best intentions.
So they lock in all these metahumans who are too dangerous in this
because that's gonna work out.
And
that worked out for the Flash, right?
And torture them with holograms of Superman all day.
Yeah. Captain Comet, by the way. Whoa. I was just like, okay.
Mark Waid is like a fan of like those old school comics.
I told you, Golden Age. It is where it is at. When you feel down and out about how comics are nowadays, go back to the Golden Age. It's corny, it's cheesy, but it will put a smile on your face.
And then we get the gathering of the cosmic beings, like, we get, I'm assuming that's Ganthet of the Guardians, and then the Wizard Shazam, Highfather.
Gotta love Highfather.
Is that the Phantom Stranger?
Is it? It is.
He's wearing a hat, it must be. Everyone else is like wearing a robe. He's the only one wearing a fedora. I'm assuming it's Phantom Stranger.
So, you gotta keep that distinction.
And they can't seem to detect Norman McKay, but Deadman does.
Because that's what Deadman does. But I love how he's like a spirit in skeletal form. And he's got like the rotted acrobatic clothes. It's just like, wow. You couldn't bother to buy a new set. Cool.
Yeah, well, he looked like a zombie before, but I guess as he gets older, his his sense of his being changes.
And this is really weird. Like, this is the only time that I will ever ship Superman and Wonder Woman is in this story. Otherwise, keep it out of canon.
Yeah.
Looking at you, New 52.
Well, I mean, Lois is dead. Lois has been dead for a while. Exactly. And Steve Trevor the Ninth is finally dead and gone. But I love this thing where they're having that little cute discussion and they're flinging rocks around asteroids. Yes.
Because like, I've been ousted from Paradise Island because I failed my mission.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the other thing. The Amazons.
Like, Artemis? Is that you?
I know. The Amazons have ousted Wonder Woman and I guess just given up on the idea of, a new champion.
World, hey, sometimes you got to leave them to their own devices. Let them destroy themselves. I totally get it.
I wonder if we would have had more time, if like Wade should have just like threw in like, the Amazons basically just like banished themselves to a different dimension. And just like, yeah, we're done.
We're going back to our sweet little island and we're not going to worry about y'all. Also, we get a little John Jones, who used to be Manhunter, but he don't have his abilities no more. That was sad. And they even spell it John Jones, not the weird way. They spell it the normal way. It's just like I took note on that one. Just like, oh.
But yeah, we see Lex Luthor like with all the mental conditioning of Billy Batson.
Oh yeah. And then I was just like, Superman's looking down on Earth with his telescopic vision. He's like searching for superhuman activity. I'm like, whoa. That's a little much. Oh,
yeah. It's just like Germany's all clear. Well, they say his power levels have boosted because, like,
he's been around that yellow sun forever now.
Well, yeah, when Batman's group's talking to Lex's group, I think it's Oliver Queen says, well, can't we just hit him with a kryptonite bomb? And Lex is like, no. He's like, I would have, I thought of that, but.
We could have done that years ago if we were going to do it. Yeah.
I don't have.
What was that?
Siri said, or Alexa said she didn't have an opinion on that.
Oh, good for you. Also, we get some former Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah.
A little itchy about Superman's plans.
Donna Troy and Roy. And Dick's up there as Red Robin, so.
Hey-o.
Oh.
Dick's up there. That's what you said.
Oh, I think that's Garth, too. What's that to do with the beard? I think is that former Aqualad Tempest?
Yes. My least favorite. Give me Caldor or give me Death.
Whoa. And I was looking in the back where like they name check everyone on all the covers, and I think Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel are there, but they're calling themselves what, King and Queen Marvel now or something.
Yeah. So yes, I feel like the issue 3 is the one that drags a lot because this is the penultimate issue, and they really have to like set up the conflict, and there's that twist, so they're really trying to like work that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when I love the Wonder Woman when she dresses herself in that golden eagle armor. Oh, that's so gorgeous.
Yeah, because things come to a head. Wonder Woman and everyone jets off to stop a riot at the Gulag, but then people at the UN are like, "This is our chance," and then of course Lex is like, "This is our chance," and that's when Batman says, "Nope."
You thought, you idiot!
I love he decks Billy Bat. Old man Batman. He decks Billy Batson and puts his foot on his throat so he can't say Shazam. And Oliver Queen's like, "Are you kidding me? We were in mortal fear the whole time of Billy Batson. I thought he was Shazam."
Yeah.
Or Captain Marvel. It was 1996.
Yeah, they got to actually call him Captain Marvel in this book, which is what I love the most.
I understand why they don't call him Captain Marvel anymore, but it's like I wish they would give him a
damn wizard.
I wish they would give him a name he can say.
Well, yeah.
They would name him something he could say
without turning
Yeah.
What would it be?
Captain Thunder, Mr.
I
Sparkle.
I think there's already Captain Thunder.
Mr. Sparkle Fingers.
Yes, Mr. Sparkle Fingers is what we need. Because I love things that sparkle.
Oh.
Quantum tentacles.
So yeah. Anyway, then kind of like Superman races to Bruce's Batcave in a last-ditch effort, and it's just like, whoa. It's too late though. Lightning strikes the dome, and it's on like Donkey Kong. It's an all-out battle.
Batman
is knocked out of the sky because hey, if anybody can deal with Superman, it is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because Batman and the others stop Lex's group, except Billy turns this Captain Marvel and takes off.
And this is actual Armageddon that Norman Kay's been worried about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, equally powered superhumans, but I think personally, Captain Marvel is stronger than Superman. Fight me all you want. He won't lose his powers if the sun turns red. That's all I'm saying.
We should do it. We should do a debate. You and Tyler, who's better, Shazam or Superman?
Shazam.
Oh, you two should debate.
I love Superman, but I know. Talking actual powers. I got the to back it up.
I know. I love.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I love the scene in the Batcave when Superman's talking to Bruce, and then he takes off at super speed, and Bruce is like, "Oh, so that's what that feels like."
Yes. Also, I love that Batmite briefly appears on Batman's computer screen, on the Bat computer screen, page 40, panel 3. I was like, Batmite in the house. We get a lot of pop references in this one too. They talk about the Wrath of Khan, the original Wrath of Khan, and then also a Clockwork Orange because of the brainwashing thing. We get the monkeys, and there's even a robot version of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So yeah, this is like, I don't know. I like all the little, it's super serious and heavy, but they also have really fun stuff in the background.
Oh yeah.
So let's get to issue 4.
And again, just like something you can hang on your wall, that fight scene. That 2-page spread.
Oh yeah. Actually, I have seen those as posters.
Oh, I'm sure.
As a matter of fact, my favorite comic book shop here has all of them in their back room where they keep all the hardcovers and stuff.
Little checking out the reading material in the back room.
That's where all the good stuff is. Always, no matter what store you're in, always check out the back room first. So issue 4 is called Never Ending Battle. And Jonah Hex's corpse makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that right now. And it's just Norman McKay and Spectre, just, come on, bro, stop watching. I know you're called Spectre, but this isn't a spectator game. You know what I mean? Armageddon's here, bro. Let's do something.
And then, there's the big fight in Kansas. And then this is when the UN's like, oh, we're going to drop a bomb on them.
Because that's going to work.
Because,
Yeah,
again,
Black Hawk.
I was going to say, Black Hawk's going to be flying the plane and drop the bomb.
Yeah. And I love how the Justice League is like hopelessly outnumbered and outmatched, but then it's like Batman shows up with the outsiders. I mean, his superhumans.
With a force from on high. Talk about your Batman Beyond references. Yeah, old man Bruce comes in that nice shiny bat armor.
Exactly. And I'm like, really? Batman's going to confront Wonder Woman because she killed Von Bach? Like, really? And then he started, so basically that gives us a glimpse about the real reason she was stripped of her duties and heritage on Paradise Island.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Wonder Woman mad, she takes him up in the sky and she's going to definitely deal with him personally.
Sexual tension.
Unresolved at that.
I just love she calls him an aristocratic bastard. I'm just like, aren't you royalty?
Hey, real talk though, Wonder Woman is more of the people than Batman and Bruce Wayne will ever be though.
Yeah.
Then back down on Earth, literally, Captain Marvel is
fighting dirty. He says Shazam and then runs away at super speed, so the lightning keeps hitting Superman.
And what's funny is it kind of reminds me of that Marvel versus DC how Storm beat Wonder Woman. Just gonna say that hashtag still bitter. And then Superman finally grabs him. As he calls, upon Shazam's name, let the lightning bolt turn Captain Marvel back into Billy Batson.
Yep. Puts his hand over his mouth.
And then he sees the bomb, and like everything starts happening, and he realizes what's going on. And he's really and I love the moral of the story really because it's really Captain Marvel that can only he can make that decision because he's part human and he's part superhero.
Mm-hmm. That's what they say. You're like, of both worlds, so you make the call.
And he did, and it was really heartbreaking sacrifice.
Shazam.
Yeah. That is like the saddest. Is like, I think I actually even shed a tear. I was like, not anybody but Captain Marvel. Why couldn't it be Superman? Why couldn't it be him?
Mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like a lot of the superhumans get wiped out, but although there are survivors.
Yeah. And this is a very kind of Watchmen thing because this makes them forge new relationships and people have to solve their this is where they say we're not going to stand above humans, we're going to stand alongside them and help them solve their problems, not just impose our will on them.
Then Superman's like ready to bring down the UN when he thinks everyone's dead.
Of course. Like, he's kind of a hothead, and it's like he gets to be a hothead in his old age.
Yeah.
And, my favorite thing, Superman hangs the cape of Captain Marvel on a flagpole as a memorial. Just so sad.
At the UN, yeah.
But then I do love how Batman turns the Wayne Manor into a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then he uses the Mankind Liberation Front as his staff. That was cute.
Because look, he's talking to his son.
Yeah. And then Wonder Woman gets restored to her rightful place as the Princess of Paradise Island. And she really wants to be a teacher of superhumans. So, very Black Canary thing they do.
Yeah, because even Cable, Magog is there.
Yeah, exactly. Superman restores Kansas and starts, fertile land for farming. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Spectre shows Norman Kay he was once human, and he returns him to the church, and he starts preaching messages of hope, and it's just like, oh. And then I absolutely love the prologue of Superman, Wonder Woman, where they meet Batman in their civilian identities.
1 year later.
Yep. And they share the news about what's going on, and then they got a little something they want to share.
Although Batman guesses it first.
Yeah. And then they're like, want him to be the godparent, and he's like, it's like, you don't have a good track record with your former wards. I'm just gonna say.
I don't know. You want somebody, someone who's not Superman or Wonder Woman to keep your kids safe.
True.
Plus, he's rich.
Filthy rich. Although he didn't leave none of that money to Dick. I'm just saying.
Phrasing.
So yeah, it was just like, that's cute. And then, you see Norman McKay scene with Jim Corrigan talking about the Spectre platter. That's how it, on a little light joke. And that's what you gotta love about Mark Waid and Alex Ross. They have this wicked sense of humor and a true love for everything that they write. Like they never get suckered into doing something they don't want to do.
But I just love like the little touches, like, at the Wayne Manor Hospital, they got Lex working there, and since he was trying to use Captain Marvel for his own ends, Bruce just walks by Lex and goes, Shazam.
Yep.
Oh, and then the gift Wonder Woman brings Superman when he's burying everyone in Kansas. A pair of glasses. Because he kind of gave up on Clark after Lois died, but
yeah, it's such a great story. If you don't own it, I don't care what version you get, definitely get it.
Oh, I want that cup at Planet Krypton. It's the power battery.
Oh, and I love on the wall, there's a older version of Challengers Unknown costume, the Batship from the 1960s Batman TV series. And then there's the 1970s DC Comics logo, which I don't like that much. Still better than what we got right now, but.
Oh, in this one panel, there's a picture of King Tut on the wall.
And there's also a display case of Kryptonite. We got green, red, gold, blue, white, and jewel. And also the H dial from Dial H for Hero.
Yep. There's so many Easter eggs in this.
So freaking many. Oh yeah, and then there's also a poster from the Superman series from the 40s. It's Superman in Scotland Yard and Superman and the Jungle Devil. God, the 40s were crazy.
But I mean, seriously, if you haven't read this yet, you know who I'm talking to. You should read this.
It's something Charlie Esser would like. Let me just put it to you that way.
No. I got a new one for you. It's something Charlie Esser should read.
Oh, no. We were talking today, and I think... I forget what we were talking about, but or where was I talking to you? I can't remember. I've done so many today. It's something Charlie Esser should review.
Oh, I think that was from the last time we talked. Actually, you said that as well. Also, and my favorite Easter egg is the covers of Wiz Comics #2 and 1 are in this one. They're on the opposite covers of the equipment of the Golden Age Sandman. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway, sorry. I can literally fangirl about all the cool Easter eggs.
Oh, so that's Leanne Harper. Like the girl, do you know what her code name is?
What?
Red Hood.
Ah.
Yeah,
but where's the Outlaws?
I don't know. Yeah, daughter of Red Arrow and the mercenary Cheshire. So
they really love that story, don't they?
I guess.
I've never been a fan of it. Roy's my boy, but I did not like that storyline. But yeah, this is an A+ every time. I could read it and reread it over and over again.
Oh yeah, it holds up. They definitely. I mean, it's over 20 years old and it still holds up.
Life is a cycle, and unfortunately, we keep repeating these weird things. Politics, But yeah, I'm so enamored with that artwork. Every time I always, if it's by Alex Ross, the art, like his art books, I always pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Every single time, I'm like, ugh, I've got an issue.
So is that it? Because I think we've done a pretty long episode for a Comic Capers. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But like we said, episode 50, one of Lilith's favorites.
Yeah. When I think 90s and DC Comics, this automatically comes to the forefront for me. One of the best things they ever did.
Yes, definitely. But
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was coming up next. So
yeah, go ahead. We got a lot of good stuff.
For those of you who've been like, man, you've been doing a lot of DC, never fear. Well,
you start the Ultimate Spider Cast or Wade's World.
I know, yeah. But after this episode, we're gonna be doing 2 of these a month because we're gonna be splitting the time with Wade's World. Oh, so the months of May and June are gonna be like X-Men heavy because we're gonna have 2 episodes of Wade's World, and then In May, we're going to have, next episode 51 is going to be the Dark Phoenix Saga.
Which one?
Speaking of timely.
Original or extra crispy?
Oh, the original. And then
now.
And then episode 52 will be Jean Grey's first resurrection. You know, the X Factor event from Avengers, Fantastic Four, and then X Factor #1.
Oh, we're doing Marvel on a 52 issue. That just doesn't feel right.
I know. But I'm not doing new 52 for 52.
Hell no.
And then in June, we'll be doing Jean Grey's second death from New X-Men.
I'm sensing a theme. Is there a reason?
I don't know. Movies. And then episode 54 will be Phoenix Resurrection, Jean Grey's second resurrection. Hey, like you don't love Jean Grey. Come on.
Hey, I do. Especially when the creepy Professor X is around. And then, should we discuss the movie? I don't think that needs to be a big round table, but
I'm sure we'll do it on Capes and Lunatics.
Nobody wants to see that.
We have to cover it just because it's probably the finale of like the Fox X-Men stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't think New Mutants is going to see the light of day.
I think they're going to release it on their streaming service.
Well, I was going to say
Halloween or something because it's supposed to be horror. So.
It's not going to be a big screen thing.
It's going to be the new Inhumans.
Oh, don't say that.
All right, so let's get out of here.
All right.
We've done enough babbling.
So again, send your thoughts on. You can send your thoughts on Kingdom Come. Send them on for the Dark Phoenix Saga. Capes and Lunatics at gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Comic Capers. Follow us on Twitter at Comic Capers Pod and at CL Sidekicks. Follow CL Sidekicks on Instagram and the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-Capes. And Lilith.
All right, if you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you're on the gram, find me at Lilith Hellfire 86. And if you want to talk Arrowverse, Smallville, Shazam, whatever, Deadpool, Superman, at Save Me Pod, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and or Instagram.
Fight me, nerd.
That's our love. So again, rise up like a phoenix from Arizona and join us next time for the Dark Phoenix Saga. Go read Kingdom Come. It's good. Of course it is. It's Mark Waid.
And Alex Ross.
Yes. It'll make you think, and it's pretty to look at. Kind of like Lilith.
Kind of like porn.